Greetings, students. Hi, my name is Oscar, and today we are going to watch, well, not the complete interaction, but I do have an interaction from Dr.Boyce Watkins. You can follow him in Facebook, right there. That's his page. And if you're interested in his work, I believe he does great fluency presentations, and he uses great words. Although they're very strong, I do recommend Not for Children. The African History Network also has a couple of videos regarding this situation. So what's going on in this interaction is that we do have Monique. I'm not sure if you're interested or familiar with the black industry in regards to, you know, Hollywood and Netflix and their actors and actresses. So we have Monique. This is Monique, and she's actually trying to boycott Netflix. What's boycott? Excuse me, can you help me, student? What is boycott or boycotting in Spanish? So that is for homework. So she's an actress, and she's it's like in Mexico, right? The actresses, I'm sorry, with the longest period of working in here in the industry, they consider to be, primeras actrices, no? So she's considered to be a, you know, I guess I would not consider, they have this standification where they consider them legends, I think. And so she was trying to work with Netflix in a few situations, and towards what I understood, I think she felt bad because they offer her less money than the other actors. So check this video out.
With me and boycott Netflix for gender bias and color bias. I was offered a $500,000 deal last week to do a comedy special. However, Amy Schumer was offered $11 million, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle $20 million. Then Amy Schumer went back and renegotiated $2 more million because she said I shouldn't get what the men are getting, they're legends, however I should get more, and Netflix agreed. When we asked Netflix to explain the difference, why the money was so different.
Now that we checked the video out, what do you think? Do you think she's okay in boycotting or Netflix, or you think that she's overreacting, or she, you know, having a caliber? If you want my opinion, I really think that nowadays, when it comes to work and when it comes down to being professional, there need to go, you know, hand to hand. And I don't think that's being professional at all. Just the way, or the same way I wasn't being professional with everything that I was publishing about the program and stuff. So it's not professional at all. And it is her right. I think it is her right to boycott anyone, or it's anyone's right to boycott anyone that they don't feel, you know, that they're complying with the community standards, I guess. So in this case, what my opinion is, and I want to be careful with what I say, is that she's not having a caliber. I think that she doesn't feel value as much as the other actors and actresses, which is respectful. However, nowadays, as I was saying, nowadays when it comes down to work, we got to be humble. You know, if there's work out there and you can work, and I mean, it's not as much money as you would want it to be, but it's some money. I mean, there are other people with less, you know, economy, you know, earnings when it comes to work. So I would want to be, if I was in her shoes, I would kind of think about that also. You know, there are other people who are working harder, or not that, or they're just, I guess you guys know what I mean. I don't want to be get too mixed up on it. So now that we watched some of the heads up on what's going on with that, we have Dr.Boyce Watkins. Let's go ahead and check out the interaction. We're going to have the interaction right here when it comes down to what, you know, was said. Now the interaction did last 3 hours or so. I think it was 2 or 3 hours. So I was only there for the last 10 minutes. Okay. Now you're going to see a different response when it comes down to the actual interactions, because on the first on the January's interaction with Kerry Richards, what happened is that I was one of the first persons, entering the room. So she was able to, to greet me and stuff. In this case, as you can see, the last 10 minutes out of 3-hour session, there were only about 200 and something people left in the room, and I think some of them already had left. And so now it was really difficult for me to get in the conversation. So later on, I would post anything that might have come up that they might have replied. For example, I know that a couple of them liked what I said, which was, hey, call them hello from Mexico or something, which they always say. So let's check out this interaction. Yes, shall we?
About diversity and inclusion that they feed you to keep you docile, I would have believed falsely that somehow me being one of the few black men in the world to have a PhD in finance, that would just guarantee me opportunities out the ass. That's what they told you, like, oh, well, if you get this degree, you can write your own ticket. You ever hear people say something like that? Oh, you get that degree, you can write your own ticket. And then you get out and you start writing your ticket. It ain't nobody paying attention to your ticket. Ain't nobody accepting your currency. People looking at you like, well, yeah, okay, whatever. Well, we chose Chad. We chose Chad for the job. And you're confused, you're hurt, you're mad because it's not what you thought it was going to be. Right? Because you were fed this lie that racism is somehow dead, or that racism only occurs when you don't have your shit together, when you ain't on your stuff, when you just lazy. You think, oh, well, all the other Negroes are lazy and I'm hardworking. That's why they're going to treat me different. And then you find out that you're going to get treated like a nigga too. Right? And because number one, they don't like you. Number two, that ain't your house. Those institutions were built for them. They built Hollywood. The Jews built Hollywood to take care of other Jews. The Jews built Hollywood to take care of other Jews. And then if they have room for the rest of the world, they let the rest of the world in. But why did the Jews, and this was not an anti-Semitic statement, why did the Jews create Hollywood to take care of other Jews? They did it because wasn't nobody taking care of Jews in the United States at that time. If you were Jewish and you were a lawyer, you could not get a job at a law firm. If you were Jewish and you were a teacher, you did not get a job at a school. If you were Jewish as a child and who went to school, you did not get to go to school with the white kids. If you were Jewish and you want to join a country club, they wouldn't let you join the country club. If you were Jewish and you wanted to break into Hollywood, break into acting or whatever, they wouldn't hire your Jewish ass. So the Jews basically said, we need to build something that's ours. So they created this space called Hollywood. And if you look at the history of the biggest studios where all these black actors are bowing down to Paramount and Columbia and Universal and Sony, and I just had an audition read at Sony today, and I'm so excited. Oh my God, I'm hoping I get the job, right? You see all that, right? All the stuff y'all bow into, all these thrones where you're kissing the pinky ring and licking the dirt off the floor, taking whatever scraps they throw to your black ass on the bottom of their feet. Like, when you're doing that, all of this was stuff that they created and made up and invented in order to control you. They wanted to have power, so they said, let's build a world and make ourselves the gods, like cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency has created a lot of instant billionaires because there are people who said, I'm going to create a new currency, and I'm going to make myself the king. I'm going to be digitally 100 million coins, and I'm going to keep 40 million of them. So if they all suddenly become worth $1, I'll have $40 million in my bank account. That's what, you see, you don't forget that in most of these industries, the players, there are the people who get played, and then there are the people who invented the fucking game in the first place. Are you raising your children to invent the game? Yeah, you could try to play the game and try not to get played, but perhaps it's better if you just take your ball and go home and go create a game for yourself. And then if they want to play with you, they got to come to your house and play by your rules and play in your game, and you therefore become God. So stop praying to God and become the God that is inside of you. There is a God inside of all of us. We are the originators of all of this. We created the original game. Black human beings, all humanity originated in Ethiopia. We started in Africa. We're supposed to control the game. So what I'm just really trying to say to you straight up point blank period is that if you want to know why, I know for a fact I have been blackballed from I've been blackballed by pretty much every white university in America. There's no white university that's going to want to hire me, especially if they research my bio. Now, they might consider it now because I've reached millions of people and I could probably bring a lot of prestige to the school and get a lot of black students. But do you think that keeps me up at night? That, oh my God, I got a PhD in finance, dedicated my whole life to it. I can't work at any university. What am I going to do? Do you think that keeps me up at night? I don't give a fuck. I do not care. I do not care. I couldn't get a show. If I tried to get a show on CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, do you really think that CBS or ABC or NBC would keep me on the air more than 30 seconds? No. Do you think I care? No, I don't even think about it. Why? Because I figured out the secret. I looked white America in the eye, and I said, I'm actually smarter than you, and I understand the source of your power. The source of your power is that you made all this shit up, and you fooled all these people into thinking that you're a god. Well, I'm not playing that game. I'm going to be the god. So when I live my life every day, ain't nobody going to decide if I get to be a teacher. I teach thousands of people every day. I ain't got to ask nobody's permission. I don't need anybody to tell me that I can have a platform. I ask anybody's permission. Nobody knew that I was going to do this video right now and talk to however many people are going to be watching. I made that decision myself an hour and a half ago and did not consult anyone. When it comes to money, the secret is all I had to do was figure out how to make my money without having to go beg them for money. That came from understanding business models. You see, what happens to you, what happened to you, what your parents did to you inadvertently is they made you think that you're supposed to just go work for a corporation, that's kind of what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to fit into somebody else's world. They never taught you that these corporations were built by somebody, that somebody made an investment, created a business model, and developed their own world where they control it. They become the boss. So I'm here to just tell you, number one, if you're a parent, you need to tell this to your children. You have to play that game. You can leave the court and go create your own game. Also, I'm here to tell you, if it's frustrating you, if life has got you down, if you're feeling blackballed or disrespected or mistreated, at the end of the day, you don't have to be there. It's like a bad relationship. Like, you ain't really got to date that motherfucker. There's 7 billion people you could be in relationships with right now, but unfortunately, he's got such a lock on your brain that you really can't. You think you can't live without him. Well, I'm telling you, like, once you leave, you're going to be so happy that you're going to want to call him and thank him. Don't let anybody lock your brain in. So to end my conversation, we were talking about Monique earlier. Monique she's bringing up good points. She's an angry black woman because she had all these accomplishments, and she's finding herself being kind of knocked around by other people's power. First, she was mad at Oprah and Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels, and I don't blame her. Tyler Perry was nice to me. I'm gonna say this: I met Tyler once. He gave me a tour of his studio. It wasn't him; it was his second in command. Gave me a 2.5-hour tour around the studio. I was inspired. It was beautiful. I respect what he's trying to do. I don't agree with every kind of film he makes, but I respect what he's trying to do. Oprah, again, I'm not completely aligned with Oprah's thinking, but I can say Oprah carries herself with a type of distinction that you have to admire, and I think that she could be the president if she chooses to be. I think that she would be better than Trump, obviously, right? Lee Daniels, I think that he is the most slimy, worthless son of a bitch to ever walk the face of the earth. I think that he is clearly mentally disturbed. I think that he is a guy who really epitomizes what it means to lick the bottom of the barrel as a black man in order to get this power that you're using to disrupt and harm other black people. I think Lee Daniels is a sick human being. I'm not gonna hold back on that. So I agree. I understand where Monique was coming from on all of that. So, but the thing about it is, at the end of the day, Lee, Oprah, and Tyler have a type of power that Monique has not figured out how to obtain. And that's why she's mad. And so when you're in that situation where you're dealing with someone who has more power than you, and you want something from that person, you either have to submit to the power, or I guess you can confront the power, but then there comes consequences with either submission or confrontation, especially if you can't figure out how to get the power for yourself. Now she's fighting with Netflix, and I think that Monique has unfortunately been labeled by Hollywood as a person who's always fighting. From a business standpoint, you don't really, it's not fun to do business with somebody who's always fighting, always complaining, always mad, always has an issue. It's just hard. You can't get anything done. So I understand, again, while I certainly understand why Monique took on Tyler, Oprah, Lee, and Netflix, I also understand why Tyler, Oprah, Lee, and Netflix ain't fucking with Monique, because they like, we can go get somebody else who says, thank you for the $500,000. I will deliver your comedy special. My numbers are going to be sky high, so that when I come back for renegotiation, you can compare my numbers to Dave Chappelle, and you can say, I can say to you, look, Dave Chappelle's comedy special had 10 million views. My comedy special had 5 million views. Therefore, I theoretically deserve to get half of what Dave Chappelle gets. That might be a better approach. When she mentioned Oprah asked her to go work for free, that was another thing she mentioned in the interview with Sway that y'all didn't see. Yeah, well, you know what? Oprah perhaps was asking her to do something for free so she could prove herself and then come back and get money the second time around. Happens all the time. I've worked for free a lot. So I'm not saying that Monique was totally wrong to do that, but what I'm saying is that you can't walk up to somebody else's house and then get mad at what they offer you, because Netflix ain't got to offer you nothing. That's their business. I can't go in Monique's business and have her say, hey, Boyce, we'd like to hire you to come in and speak. And I say, well, how much you going to hire me for? She says, well, we'll give you $3,000 to come speak. And I say, oh, fuck you. Like, how dare you offer me $3,000 to come in here and talk for 45 minutes? Don't you know my speaking fee is $7,000 to $10,000? What's wrong with you? I'm going to go out and I'm going to tell people to boycott your business because you only offer me $3,000. You should have offered me 10. No, well, actually, in negotiation, there's a concept in economic theory for negotiation called a credible threat. A credible threat means that I can hem and haw all day about what you offered me, and to say, like, that ain't what I'm worth more. You should have gave me more. I can holler all day. But where the rubber meets the road is when you say to me, okay, cool, then don't take it. I don't care. Go somewhere else. Go to the other company that will give you more than what I give you. Because clearly, if you're worth that much, then the market will bear that. Because check it out. Seriously. Here's how Dave Chappelle can negotiate with Netflix. Dave Chappelle can say, okay, Netflix, I need $20 million. And Netflix I think that's what Dave got. And Netflix might say, oh, no, Dave. Ooh, that's too much. We can't pay you that, but we can offer you $5 million. Right? That's what Netflix could say, right? If they were crazy, they'd be like, okay, we can give you $5 million, Dave. I mean, my God, Dave. He can say, no, Netflix, but we can't. So you know what Dave would do? Dave would say, okay, no problem. Thank you for your time. Shake your hand. And he goes over somewhere else to another network that gives him what he's worth. Threat, comes into existence. Credible threat means that you can do all the talking and yapping and yelling about what you're worth all day, but if you can't prove it, then who cares? So anybody who's got a job, I want you to pay attention to this. Here's what you do. Here's how you negotiate. If you ever want a company to give you a raise, this is one thing you should probably consider doing. If your boss, let's say your boss is paying you $50,000 and you're really worth 100, or you're worth 80, whatever. Don't go in, maybe you can go tell them once and say, I think I should get 80 because this is what I'm worth. And let's say that they say no. Then what you do is you put out your resume, You get another company to give you an offer for $80,000. You walk in, put the offer on their desk, and you say, "This offer's for $80,000. I'd like for you to match it because I really like it here. I'll even take 75. But if you don't want to match it, that's okay too. I can just go to this other company." And then that's when the moment of truth will occur. That just like ladies, if you got this man who don't appreciate you, who don't love you.
Now that you checked out the interactions, which is about 10, 12 minutes out of the 3 hours, and now it's time to send in your questions regarding any vocabulary you might have, and use our standards. In this case, I don't think there was much interaction like the previous one, so I think I'm going to try to be there, in the first initiation of the interactions. So thank you, and remember, these interactions are going to be once a month. We have Kerry Richardson with January's interaction, and now we have Dr.Boyce Watkins for February's interaction. Bye-bye. Take care.